Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good day, good night, whenever you're watching this. Just on my way to go take care of a few things at work, and holy crap, is this road freaking bumpy. Figures. First off, I do have my full attention on the road, so no, I'm not going to be looking at my camera much. So, that being said, so I'm sure a lot of you are aware of what's been going on lately. Recently, Rob Reiner and his wife were killed, I guess, by their own son, which is pretty screwed up, okay? And first and foremost, I mean, as much as I was not much of a fan of Rob Reiner, I mean, what happened to him was pretty screwed up. Same thing with what happened to his wife, I'm not going to make fun of what happened to him and his wife. And, all I will say is I sure as hell hope that their son faces serious consequences for what he did, because what he did was pretty screwed up. I don't care what the reasoning was for him to do it. It's not something that I'm okay with, and I would not wish for that to happen to anybody, regardless of how I feel about that person. So, with that out of the way, so, there's been a lot of things that I've been hearing about, people trying to get my freaking words right. There's quite a few sides with this situation. You got people on the right that are giving out their condolences to the guy, even though they didn't agree with how he was, especially with Trump and all. And then, you got people on the left that are sitting there criticizing those on the right, going, oh, well, you got people who are celebrating, da-da-da-da-da. You got people that are making fun, that are doing this, that are doing that, da-da-da-da-da. And then, there's quite a few other things that are going on, people getting mad at Trump and all. And look, before I mention any more, I will say this. What Trump did say, I agree he could have worded what he said a lot better, okay? I 100% agree with that. Now, as much as, for most part, I do support Trump and I agree with a lot of things that he says or does, I mean, this is one of the very few things that I think is completely screwed up, the whole Trump derangement syndrome thing that he decided to bring up. I mean, okay, I could see a lot of people that have that, because I mean, it's something I've been hearing about a lot the past few years, so whatever. I mean, I'm all for making jokes about that 100%, but I do agree that Trump shouldn't have brought that up while talking about how he was sad about what happened with Rob Reiner, So, I will say that, I think that was a bit screwed up, and I would not condone that type of statement towards anybody, regardless if I agree with that person or not. But that being said, a lot of people that are getting mad at Trump for saying what he said are the same exact people that made fun of what happened with Charlie Kirk and what happened with people like Rush Limbaugh. And that's the thing, too. I mean, Rob Reiner, I don't know exactly what all he said about Charlie Kirk or what all he said about Rush Limbaugh, because I never really paid much attention to that guy, Didn't really care for him much. But there are things that he has said about Rush Limbaugh and Charlie Kirk. But Trump says something about him, and it's a big freaking problem. Okay, again, like I just said a little bit ago, I don't condone what Trump said about Rob Reiner, especially considering, it was not the best timing for it. But at the same time, I'm seeing a lot of ignorance, from a lot of people on the left that are sitting there saying, well, he made fun of Rob Reiner. That is not okay. Oh, I am so disgusted with Trump's behavior on this. Da-da-da-da-da. Trump is such a piece of shit. Trump is this type of guy, that type of guy. Da-da-da-da-da. You know what? I'm sorry if you got your frickin' feelings hurt over what Trump said about Rob. But some of y'all need to frickin' put the phone down, or actually, in this case, I guess, pick up your phone and do some research. I'm not here to say that Rob Reiner was one of the worst human beings out there. But there are things that he has said about Charlie Kirk and Rush Limbaugh that were not okay. Just like what Trump is doing with Rob. I'm sorry, but respect goes two ways, and so does disrespect. If you're going to sit there and talk about how you're disgusted with what Trump is saying about certain people out there, but you're not going to say the exact same thing about Charlie Kirk, or those that are thinking it's okay to disrespect Charlie Kirk or Rush Limbaugh or anybody like that, you shouldn't even be speaking. I am sorry, but at this point you are proving that you are a freaking hypocrite. Now, I'm not saying that everybody that's disgusted with what Trump said about Rob Reiner was unsympathetic with Charlie Kirk. I'm not saying that. I understand there probably are a lot of people that felt for what happened to Charlie Kirk and were disgusted by what happened with him, or disgusted right now with Trump and a statement about Rob. Okay, I'm not throwing everybody under the bus about that. But I'm just saying this right now. If you're one of these people that are freaking going all in your freaking feelings about what Trump said about Rob Reiner, when you had not a damn word to say about what happened with Charlie Kirk or Rush Limbaugh, or you made fun of both of them for what happened, I don't care to hear your freaking sob story about how much you think Trump is a piece of shit over what he said about Rob Reiner. That's all there is to it. And if anybody wants to sit there and try and argue me on this situation, if you have a good argument, I'd like to hear it. Again, I've said it a few times in this video, and I will say it again. Yes, Trump could have worded what he said a lot better, or at least kept his mouth shut about the Trump derangement syndrome statement. And a few other things that he said about Rob Reiner. I can assure you, Trump doesn't think what happened to Rob was funny by any means. I'm sure he's not laughing about what happened. Because if you read part of what happened, or part of what he said, excuse me, he did straight up say that he was sad to hear about what happened to Rob. Which, by the way, there's one more thing I gotta bring up before I put this video to an end. So many people are getting mad at Trump about what he says. How come I don't hear a whole lot of people getting mad at Rob's psychopath of a dumbass son who killed Rob and his wife? How come nobody's outraged about what he did? How come nobody's getting online saying things like, oh, well, I hope that guy gets in trouble. I hope this guy deals with this and that. Da 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 da. Just a serious freaking question. Because the way I see it is, I don't see a lot of people going after that dude. I mean, that's just a question I've been wanting to ask for a while. I made a post on my YouTube about it, I think a day or two ago, and, you know, it's just something I've been noticing. I don't know, I just don't understand a lot of people out there. That's all I'm going to say. Again, I do agree that what happened with Rob Reiner and his wife was pretty screwed up. You know, may those two rest in peace. And my heart goes out to everybody that cared for them. And I sure as hell hope that their son ends up doing some serious time behind bars for what he did. That's all I gotta say about that. Anyways, I think that's all I have to say about this for now. Hope everybody's having a good day, good night, whenever you're watching this. I know I haven't really been uploading to this channel much lately, and I do apologize about that. Past few months have just been super busy for me, unfortunately. So yeah, you guys all take care now and be safe.